So in this video, we're going to look at completing the square. And before you start this, let's just make sure you're comfortable with solving equations with square roots, so using square roots to solve an equation, how to factor a quadratic, and how to FOIL. So all those things are going to come up in the video, so just make sure you understand those before you move on. All right, so previously we learned how to solve equations like this. X plus 3 squared equals 4. All right, we could take the square root of both sides and then get rid of that square. All right, the next equation, this left-hand side factors to that, so you can actually solve it in the same way. And this one, if you were to subtract 4 from both sides, would turn into that, or add 4 to both sides. So these ones could all be solved the same way, even though they don't look the same. All right, but this equation, if we just saw this equation here, how would we ever know to just add 4 to both sides to get it there? How are we going to solve this equation if we were to given that one rather than one of the top two? All right, the idea is we want to create this perfect square. So we want to create this perfect square. So if we create a perfect square that looks like this, we know we can use our square roots to help us solve the problem. And this process of creating this perfect square is known as completing the square. Because just like in that last slide, we're trying to add 4 to both sides in order to turn it into something that we can factor really nicely. All right, so first let's see the pattern of these different things. So if I were to figure out what x plus 3 squared is, remember this is x plus 3 times x plus 3, so don't forget to FOIL. And you're going to get x squared plus 6x plus 9. X plus 4 squared, I'm just going to do it, is x squared plus 8x plus 16. And x plus b squared, this one we can actually do together. X squared plus bx plus bx plus b squared, x squared plus 2bx plus b squared. All right, so I went through that quick because that's not the important part. The important part is recognizing the pattern. So what's the pattern? If you look at the last number, you'll notice it's whatever the number is here squared. All right, so this is 3 squared, 4 squared, b squared. And if we look at the middle number, it's just twice that number. So 3 times 2 is 6, 4 times 2 is 8, b times 2 is 2b. All right, so this is always the pattern. Whenever you have a perfect square, there's just x plus or minus a number. The middle number is always going to be twice this number. The last number is always going to be that number squared. So that's the pattern we're looking at, and that's going to help us do completing the square. All right, so here's the strategy that we're going to use to do completing the square. And again, in words, it'll be really confusing, but this will kind of be our guide when we start doing examples. So the first thing we're going to do is get the equation to look like this. Normally when we solve a quadratic, we get 0 on one side, but completing the square, we just want the x's together on one side. Next, we're going to calculate b over 2 squared, because if we want to go backwards to a perfect square, that's going to be the thing that helps us, and I'll explain that more in the examples. All right, once you have that number, you want to add it to both sides of the equation because it's an equation. This number is special because when you add it to this left-hand side, it's going to turn into a perfect square that you can factor. And then after that, you just solve the whole equation using square root. So that's a lot of steps, so let's do an example. All right, x squared plus 4x minus 3. There's actually a way you could, actually no, you have to solve this one by completing the square. All right, so the first step is we want to get just the x terms together. So to do that, I'm going to add 3 to the other side. There's ways of doing completing the square without doing this, but for me, this is just an easier step. All right, so x squared plus 4x equals 3. So now we're focused on the left-hand side still, and our b is the number next to x. So in this case, b is 4. And we're always going to do the same 2 steps. The first thing we do is divide b by 2. That gives me 2. And I'm going to take that answer and square it. So 4. So what this tells me? This tells me in my equation, I want to take this expression and I want to add 4 to it. So whatever answer you get here is going to be that number. But since it's an equation, I have to do it on both sides. All right, so why was this useful? Well, if we look at x squared plus 4x plus 4, we can factor that. All right, we'd be looking for 2 numbers that add together to give 4, and they need to multiply together to give 4. And those numbers are 2 and 2. So this left-hand side would factor as x plus 2 times x plus 2 equals 7. But x plus 2 times x plus 2 is x plus 2 squared. So by adding this very specific number here, by adding this 4 here, we were able to turn our expression into a perfect square. So this is the completing the square part, finding the special number that I add to my expression in order to turn it into a perfect square. And now we know how to solve these. We take the square root of both sides. The square root and the square cancel to give me x plus 2. Never forget when you take the square root of both sides of an equation, you have to put that plus or minus. And now to get x by itself, I just subtract 2 from both sides. All right, so by recognizing the pattern that happens with perfect squares, we can figure out the special number to add in order to turn our equation into one we already know how to solve. X squared minus 8x plus 10. All right, same. First step's going to be subtracting 10 from both sides. And this isn't technically a necessary step if you're just like reading a textbook or something about completing the square, but this is the way I like to do it. Then we figure out, all right, now that we have the x's by themselves on the left, we're going to figure out b, in this case, is negative 8. We do the same steps. B over 2 is negative 4. And then we square that answer, and we get positive 16. So positive 16 is going to go on both sides of the equation. All right, and that's that special number that's now going to turn that left-hand side into a perfect square. And what is the perfect square? If I don't want to go through the hassle of factoring it every single time, it actually turns out that this number here, the middle number in that step, is going to go there. So in this case, we're going to get minus 4 squared equals 6. So writing those steps that I wrote out in red on the left are really important. First, you identify b. Then you identify b over 2, because that's going to end up going in this final equation. Then you identify b over 2 squared, because that's what actually you're going to add to both sides of the equation. So a lot of people try to skip writing these steps, but they're really important for you to know which numbers are going where. All right, the good thing is once I get here, I can take the square root of both sides. X minus 4 is plus or minus the square root of 6. And then I add 4 to both sides. X equals 4 plus or minus the square root of 6. And I'm going to do one more example before you try one on your own. If you feel confident already, try this one on your own as well. That way you get a little bit more practice with the added instruction. But I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. I'm going to go to the side now. Remember that b is that number next to the x. I need to divide it by 2. And I need to square that answer. All right, so I'm going to add 9 to both sides of my equation. The left-hand side is going to factor as x plus 3 squared. The right-hand side is negative 1. I can take the square root of both sides to cancel out the exponent. On the right-hand side, I'm going to get plus or minus the square root of negative 1. A long time ago, we would have said that's no solution, but we have imaginary numbers now. The square root of negative 1 is I. And now I just have to subtract 3 to get x all by itself. And that's our final answer. Only difference between this one and all the other ones is that we had an imaginary answer because the square root ended up being negative. All right, so here's one for you to try on your own. All right, go ahead and solve this equation by completing the square. All right, I'll show you the answer in 3, 2, 1. And the answer you end up getting for this problem is 3 and negative 1. So it works out nicely in this case that the square root completely went away. The square root of 4 is just 2. So you can actually combine your answer to get just these 2 whole numbers at the end. All right, so go ahead and practice completing the square, work on that process of finding b over 2 and then squaring it, adding that to both sides. All right, this process is going to come up in a different form later, so it's good to practice this. There might be other ways that you know to solve quadratic equations, but this way practicing this is going to be helpful later down the road.